as we are joined by Lavan Gopaul in our Durban studios. Lavan, good evening.
Good evening, Gunther, and to all of your viewers.
Let's start off with SABMiller. They've confirmed the intention of an approach. Now, obviously, the big question is price. What do you think would be a fair price?
They've been brewing with this deal for some time now. It's well been thought of that some consolidation may happen within this space. There have been a number of contenders, and analysts have also reviewed the possibilities of whom may match up with whom. For now, InBev, Anheuser-Busch InBev have given us an indication that they may make an offer to SAB. So they haven't formally made that offer. And in terms of the rules of the London Stock Exchange, they have until the 14th of October this year to formalize their offer or walk away. For now, the analysts are buzzing around a price tag. And some of the reports give us an indication that it may possibly be a further 15 to 20% up on the London price as it closed today. Bear in mind that that price has already spiked in the order of 20%, which has made the South African listed entity also rise in the same fraction. It would seem that there's a number of hurdles that they still would have to cross before this deal is bedded down. The most important being international regulators have got to make sure that there isn't any monopolistic intention behind this deal. A number of antitrust lobby groups will have a fair amount of discussion in the US, UK, and EU authorities will also consider the monopoly possibilities.
Lavan, the news itself says something about the global beer industry. What is that?
So there's a few different takeaways from this, Gunther. Firstly, why would such a deal even happen? We've seen Anheuser-Busch InBev on an acquisition trail over the last few years. In the last decade at least, that business has grown almost 20-fold. It's now worth in the order of $100 billion.
Yes.
This has been a growth story mainly by acquisition. They've also been able to cherry pick certain destinations on the planet and have been able to grow quite nicely with the growth in China and Latin America. Of course, with the current pullback in the global market, in particular the problems that China is facing, Anheuser-Busch has probably had to do a retake on their business initiative and their growth strategy. And there are some quarters that believe this story of a merger of sorts between South African breweries, or SABMiller as it's internationally known, that merger may well be a solution to better both businesses. At this stage, South African breweries, or SABMiller, has got a value in the order of 60 billion pounds, almost 990. That's 60 billion pounds. That equals to 93 billion US dollars. You're talking about a company that jointly may be the largest brewer in the world. Now, some of the other big players in this market include Heineken and Carlsberg. The talk is that these are largely family-controlled businesses, with Anheuser-Busch InBev and SABMiller being largely corporate giants. What you're likely to see is them being able to behave in a lot more swift fashion. It may certainly drown out any of the smaller brewers, and whilst the taste or the appetite in some of the upper earning groups globally is now towards craft beer, there's still a massive demand for product, and they will certainly make inroads into new markets.
Lavan, let's move on to Everest Highveld. Hong Kong-based International Resources Projects Limited. Mouthful in itself. What do you know about them?
So Gunther, the business is largely owned by the Chinese government. They have been in the acquisition space for some time. The recent talk about making inroads into Africa is nothing new. A number of Chinese entities have made representations. What you've now discovered is the commodity players domestically are feeling the pinch in terms of lower commodity prices. They're finding it increasingly difficult to eke out profits, and in many instances you would see job losses being headlined as one of the rationales that come out of the lower commodity prices. Some of these have been tottering on bankruptcy, and this includes the Highfall steel business. What you would have noticed now is a check being written out in the order of $26 million. Comes as a rescue plan. That's almost 350 million rand. The important aspect is that steel operators domestically would not be able to survive if they didn't have very wealthy backers. And in this instance, it may be an opportunity to preserve some jobs. In terms of us being in a position to provide commodities globally and not upscale them domestically is an entirely different argument. But certainly it does offer an immediate solution.
Lavan Gopaul, thank you for your time.